Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. I'm going to jump right to this one. This shows a sell signal that played out on Friday of last week when we violated the 823.76 channel bottom. It was a structure that held nicely a week earlier. We did not follow through all the way back to the channel top, which I was anticipating. Instead, we fell back and by late last week came crumbling to close below the 823.76 formation. Now, we did close, I'm going to say right at it, roughly, on Tuesday. I think maybe a tick or two above it, but it wasn't by a wide margin. So I'm going to call that still a hold. If you sold the market yesterday or you're still short the market, I don't have a problem with that. Ideally, you want to see the market open lower today and continue south. I do still think that if we're unable to close, and this is daily settlements, above 823.76, your 665.31 level remains in reach over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And that is backed up by, I'm going to show you the weekly chart here with a 3/8 long-term Fibonacci at 643 and a quarter. So you look lower right, you can see on the weekly chart 665.62. This is a full channel extension. This was a target following the buy signal almost a year ago, May of last year. If you recall, if you're a Wicked Stocks subscriber, you know we put this out as a stock pick when we closed above the 405.67 channel top. We'd mentioned the full channel extension, the full width increase of this previous channel top, sort of flipping it on its head. Now at 665.62. Now, it didn't contain buying pressures, but it did contain selling pressures several weeks later after closing above it. And so I still have it as this sort of level, how should I put this? I like 443.24. I like the 3/8, and I do like 665.62 that precedes it. But if it were just 665.62 standing out in the middle of nowhere, I would probably not consider it to be a significant support. But because it's backed up by 643.24, that long-term Fibonacci, and there's also a full channel extension, kind of the same idea that I mentioned before to the upside long-term, we now have to the downside 692.11. So I'm not going to call 692.11 the beginning of a range down to 643.24. But it is there. I'm lowering it down to 665.31 or roughly 665.62 down to 643.24. Remains a 2 to 3 week target below 823.76. Let's work downside right now. And I do have this soft intraday pivot point that we put out there yesterday in a Tuesday's NVIDIA report. Nothing more than Monday's high. We gapped above it on Tuesday. There is a gap there now. And so if we break 800.73, we fill and close that gap. And I do think that results in downward pivot point. Downward, how far south? I still like, and because this stock has the potential to explode in terms of volatility, I still like and I don't think we're going to see this today, but let me put it this way. I think if we break 800.73, we do have a good high for the day. The market can fall back to any of these minor points. Now, whether it falls all the way back to 742.20 is another question altogether. I mean, that is certainly possible, especially if we open today below 800.73, 742.20. There's just a lot going on here to the far left. You have that previous high, a series of highs, a settlement high, and then this gap that occurred. 742.20 still our daily session containment level. Now, on the way down, we've got 783.42, 64 even, and 53.35, well suited for aggressive day traders. And the aggressive day trader is more than looking for just the trade of the day, which you can call that a day trade. Day traders, some of them are just looking for the setup of the day, and they act on it. They either take profits or losses, and they're done. And then they walk away. Others are just glued to the screen and trading throughout the day. There's no right or wrong to this. In fact, I came off the trading floor in the late 80s, early 90s in Chicago, and most of my colleagues were of that ladder. They were short. Yeah, I mean, they're beyond day trading. They're pit traders, buying and selling, scalping throughout the day. You can't even say many times of the day. They're constantly trading. So there is that mindset as well, especially with a stock like NVIDIA, where you've got wild swings. The market can move 5-10% in a day, and we've seen that recently. So here we are. I've covered the downside pretty well. Let me finish with, if we close today below 800.73, close Wednesday below 800.73, and you're short the market now, or you have been following the violation of 823.76, you're breathing a sigh of relief. I think if we close today below 800.73, we have a good high for the week, and that 742.20 level that I mentioned here, then in reach by Friday's close. Let's put it that way. And then we're just probably another week at the most away from continuing south to our overall objective in the 665.31 all the way down to the 643.24 level at 3/8 long-term Fibonacci from October 22 to the more recent March 24. Now for the upside, let's talk about the possibility of pushing through opening above 823.76. 823.76 is once again this area I mentioned you can sell short. You can play the short side below 823.76, anticipating the 640s, 660s over the next several weeks. But if we push or open today above 823.76, 846.99 is likely. This level is bound to give the market trouble. If we push through it, I've got 865.03 as an intraday objective, possibly by the closing bell. Overall, I'm just going to simply say that if we close today above 823.76, we should, over the next 3 to 5 days, continue on up to the 903.45 level. This descending channel top can contain at least weekly buying pressures. It's a 3 to 5 day target if we close above 823.76. So, if we gap clearly above 823.76, you may consider exiting short positions. Maybe you reverse and go long. I will say that if we close above 846.99, just an intraday resistance level, but closing above this channel top underscores the likelihood for 903.45 over the next few days. If we close today above 823.76, I'm just going to say the same thing. 903.45 becomes a 3 to 5 day target. So if you're short right now, anticipating the 640s, 660s over the next several weeks, and we open above 823.76 and we continue to pull away to the upside, let's say that we push through 846.99, I don't know what your parameters are. I'm not trying to interfere with your risk management approach. I never risk more than 2% of my trading capital on any given trade, but those are extremes. My technical stops are usually well inside that. And so if we push through 846.99, I see no good reason to stay short through the rest of the day. And the point I'm trying to make, and I think I have already, is that if we close above 823.76, 3 to 5 day target at 903.45, if that's a 3 to 5 day swing trade to the upside, by the way, closing above 823.76, 903.45. If you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader and you are short right now at 823.76, I wouldn't recommend holding that short position all the way up to 903.45. I mean, yes, we can round off of here and fall back again as we move into May trade, but these descending flags at the top of a move, they are oftentimes a setup for a longer-term buy signal upon settlement above, but not only until we close above 903.45. Until then, we can fall away from here. So closing above 823.76, 903.45, a 3 to 5 day target where we could top out through next week, possibly into later May, and if settled above, would be a meaningful buy signal through May. We will outline that objective if we approach 903.45. We're not expecting that unless we close today above 823.76. I think it's about as simple as that. I've repeated everything numerous times. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. We offer a 5-day free trial. You might be looking for that Apple analysis. We have it for you, waiting. Also Triple Q and SPY daily analysis, so forth and so on. I'll be back tomorrow with Thursday's NVIDIA report. You have a great day.